Welcome to Western France and the Touareg Laser SB3 Euro Cup. We're going racing with 49er sailing stars Chris Draper and Simon Hiscox as they test their skills in the competitive 50-boat fleet. And we're not just going to watch, we're going racing with them, with headcams, fixed onboard cameras and the specialist hovercam. And we've got top racing coach Mark Rushell, who'll talk to Chris Draper live during the race and give us his input from the coach boat. Your host is BBC Sports sailing commentator Richard Simmons.
So we're looking to start at the upper third of the line, probably just below the bunch that's going to be having a bit of a melee on the starboard lay into the start line. That's hand sand. And at the moment we're sort of in the back of our minds is that we think that there's more current on the right hand side of the course that's going to be up our chuff on port and then lee bowing us on starboard. And the wind has had a general trend to be shifting to the right as the day's gone on, so we're kind of thinking that we're going to certainly protect that side. It's looking like the line bias has changed a bit more to being a bit pin bias, so we're thinking that we might hover down that way and look to try and cross on port reasonably early. Okay, understood.
Looking for a gap now, just reaching down. He's seen a gap. I think the gap he's seen is the blue and red striped boat. Yes, it is. Here he goes.
Well, Draper and Hiscox are pretty much where they wanted to be, towards the pin end, but they are second or third row back, so they've got plenty on here.
Yeah. Okay, 25 seconds to go. He's racing. He's got to be sailing flat out now because it's a long way to get up to that line.
Draper and Hiscox, well, they're coming in with speed. There's a raft of boats ahead of them already on the line.
Nice gap opening up. I'm not sure if he may have left his run a little bit too late. That's the gun. Well, question is, were the boats that are ahead of him behind the line?
Well, some boats did look a little early, but race controller saying all clear. So Draper and Hiscox have got work to do, a clear start. They're in the third row at the pin end, but they wanted the right-hand side of the course. If they still want that, they've got 50 boats to get across or dive behind.
I think we hang here for a minute, mate. Yeah.
The one thing that's in his favour here is that was a very port bias line. So though he's in the second rank among the boats up here, he's ahead of a lot of boats that are to the right of him, and you can see him just looking over his shoulder here, seeing if there's an opportunity to tack. He's seen it, and here he goes. So hopefully he'll only have to duck one or two boats and then get into clear wind.
Got a duck on here. I need some room, boys!
Well, gentle reminder there from Chris Draper to the boat to leeward of him that they must give him space to dive down behind the transom. He's going to have to do that again.
I need room, guys! Jerry! Let's hold it up a bit. Okay, I'm bow down there. He's tacked him, he's tacked him. Let's get that main in, mate. We're gonna go here, mate. You ready? You ready? Going there. We've got boat potentially gonna tack to leeward. Hey! Sorry, guys. Okay, full boat speed here now. We got out of there nice, guys.
Got out of there nice, guys. Chris Draper is happy with where he is. He was forced to tack. Starboard boats were coming across. There were too many for him just to duck behind, but he's tacked into clear air. Remember, though, the game plan is still to tack and get over to the right-hand side.
So what are your thoughts here, Chris?
We're looking to try and flick over at the moment, but we're just struggling for a lane, but it's just looking like it's starting to open up.
So trying to find a lane to get over to the right-hand side.
Yeah, we've just gone bow down there as well. I think we're going to go any second and duck these boats just on our hip. Should we go, mate?
Okay, so Chris has just seen a slight header. They've decided it's time to go. There's just two more boats they need to duck.
And once again, Draper and Hiscox are prepared to let boats pass ahead of them in order to get to the right-hand side of the racetrack. That's their game plan, and they're sticking to it.
It's lovely work. The course is quite lopsided, so we've actually got a lot of port tack to do now, so we've got a pretty good lane and we got out of there pretty well, and unfortunately we were a bit behind the line, but I think everybody else was over.
Chris has just said that this has turned into quite a one-sided beat. a lot of port tack to do, so he's very happy now, although he's disappointed with the start. He's got a clear lane and he can keep going on port towards the direction of the windward mark, rather than the other boats who are still hacking out on starboard and may end up overlaying the mark.
Chris Draper's wriggled his way out to the right-hand side, but it's now all focus on boat
Gust
speed
on here.
and protecting that clear air.
There's a bit of chop, James, and just give it an inch of ease, mate, on that main, yeah? When it's flattening off, then bring it back on. Just want to make sure that boat to leeward doesn't close up our lane too much. So if they start gaining height on us, mate, then just let us know. Pressure cools as well, guys. Just getting a bit laid flat at times. Good speed, guys. Got more pressure coming on in 5.
Well, unique insight this on board with an Olympic medalist, but not only do we know what's going on, he's constantly communicating with his crew.
That boat to leeward's just gaining a bit of height on us, isn't they? We have gone down there to 311. Is there any lefting left to do, mate? Very choppy. Bit more of an ease, James. Okay, and it's all good actually. You don't want to pull it as tight as you were, mate. Yeah, that's grand there.
It seems a pretty good pace, I think. We're yachting across here quite nicely. There's not a lot of lefting left to do on the course, and the wind is well left from the shift range that we saw in the pre-start. So at the moment we're just thinking that we're going to keep trucking over here and get on top of as much of the fleet as possible.
We're thinking as well that the boats that are going to get on this ley line early on the right are going to get lifted up quite heavily by the lee bow and the tide, so we're definitely not going to want to get up there. So I think we're thinking we'll approach the windward mark from port if we can, but obviously we want to try and not get in that bun fight that's on the port ley line. Could almost tack and get across that whole bunch now, mate.
Well, Draper's now thinking of tacking back. He's gone to the right-hand side of the course. That's where he wanted to be. But he doesn't want to go to the extreme right. He wants to stay in the centre of the course, protect his position. This is good conservative sailing.
If you can, get on top of them and then come back over, mate, yeah? All the way back to the right. Gonna close up to this boat a little bit and then go. Okay, you ready? Okay, I can't do anything about that. Just got to go there. We've got big speed build out of this. He got that chop as well, so it's all good.
Draper forced attack in those waves. He asked for a big speed build.